God. Well, I mean, it depends on the genre, doesn't it? I mean, you have what they call elevated horror these days, which is, you know, they're trying to win Oscars and shit. But then you have the stuff that I love, which is like gonzo horror, which is just like spray as much fucking blood and guts on the walls as possible and make a great joke at the end of it, you know? But you also have sci-fi horror, which, you know, to me, Aliens is like one of the greatest fucking movies. You have, you know, you have you have the slashers, you have, you know, supernatural stuff. I mean, I kind of celebrate the whole fucking spectrum of them. I think to me, the thing that makes a great horror movie, it's a combination of everything. The story has to be interesting enough that it pulls you in. The characters have to be interesting enough that you want to see at least one of them win. Yeah. And the killer has to be interesting enough that in a weird way you're rooting for them. You know, like I mean, who the fuck watched the first, you know, Halloween and was like, go Jamie Lee Curtis? You wanted Michael Myers to get most of them, you know, because we're fucking weird people. And you know, so that's kind of the battle. I mean, it's one of the rad examples of good versus evil, where you technically don't have you don't have a dog in the race, so you're just kind of like waiting to see what the fuck's gonna happen. And for me, that's, you know, one of my, you know, and there's nothing against cheesy horror movies as well. I mean, I don't know if you can tell, but I have a Trick or Treat shirt on, and this movie, while not amazing, is one of the most fun movies to watch ever, because you get two great cameos from Ozzy Osbourne and Gene Simmons.
Oh, yeah.
It's Mark Price, who played fucking Skippy on Family Ties, and it's this crazy rock star who burned himself alive coming back from the dead because they played an album backwards. I was like, what the fuck? It shouldn't work on paper, and yet it did, and it's still one of my favorite movies from the 80s, you know? So you just never know what's going to draw you in, what's gonna make you go, you know, I will defend this movie till the day I die, but it is the biggest piece of shit you've ever fucking seen. It's just because we're okay with it, you know? Like, it doesn't always have to be terrifying, it just has to be rad, you know? And that can mean anything, but, you know, when you're a horror fan, there are certain things you accept, and you just go, all right, that was horse shit, but I'll go see it again, you know? So it's weird, you know? Like, there's give and take there.
Yeah. Speaking of rad